Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. What we're going to do today, we're going to do a tutorial on the infinity scarf that I recently made. It's a beginner friendly, very beginner friendly, one row repeat, one cake of yarn, Mandala Ombre, and that's 344 yards, and I use all of it. So the infinity scarf actually measures anywhere from 62 to 63 inches. You can make it shorter if you like, but I wanted mine to be long. But then if you're wearing it, you can adjust it to be shorter. And again, it took me approximately 7 hours to make. I love this scarf. It is so beautiful. So this is something that, if you wanted to make gifts for people in the family, you could do so and do it fairly quickly. Again, a one row repeat. So we're going to get started on the tutorial. Okay, I wanted to give you a better description of the yarn that I used in the infinity scarf that I showed you at the beginning of the video. It is Mandala Ombre. It's a Lion Brand product, Mandala Ombre. It is 344 yards, and I use practically all of it for that infinity scarf. It is 4-weight, and the name of it is Happy, H-E-U-R-E-U-X. Okay, but I got this at Walmart, $5.97. And I think if you were to purchase it online, through other websites like Joann or something, don't quote me on the price, but you won't get it as cheap as you get it at Walmart's. But my Walmart's carried this one cake for $5.97 and 344 yards. So all you need is the one cake to complete the infinity scarf that I just showed you. Some of the supplies, or the supplies that you will need, is a J needle, crochet needle, 6.0 J, 5 or 6 stitch markers for the seam to sew together the infinity scarf. You're going to need a yarning needle, a finishing needle, a tape measure, and scissors. Okay, the yarn that I'm using is the same brand as I showed you before. It's Lion Brand Mandala Ombre, and it has a bluish denim appearance. It's really nice, and this is 344 yards. And for weight, and it's called Harmony. Okay, what we're going to do is make a chain of 25. So I have my chain of 25. It's not too tight and it's not too loose. Okay. And what we're going to do, the fourth chain from the hook. Fourth chain. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to crochet in the fourth chain from the hook. We're going to make a double crochet fourth chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you want to count the top one layer, the top leg makes it easier, then do so. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now what I do is I place my crochet hook in the bottom leg. I don't place it at the top. I place it in the bottom. And we're going to make a double crochet. Now to make a double crochet, it is yarn over. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Put the crochet hook into the bottom leg. Grab yarn, bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over. Pull through 2. Yarn over. Pull through 2. That is a double crochet. We're going to chain 1. We're going to go back into that same space. You're going to yarn over and make another double crochet. Yarn over, put into that same space as you did before. Grab some yarn, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You have a V-stitch. Now, the V-stitch, we're going to have a total of 8 V-stitches when we reach the end, okay? So what you're going to do now, just go ahead and put your yarn over, and we're going to skip 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And we're going to place our hook in the bottom leg after you've skipped 2 stitches. Place it in the bottom leg, and we're going to do the same thing over again. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1, yarn over and back into the same space as before. Insert your hook, grab some yarn, bring it through. You have 3 loops on the hook. We're doing the same thing as we did a moment ago. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. You have your second set of V-stitches. This scarf is nothing but V-stitches. It's a 1-row repeat. We're just doing our foundation right now, but trust and believe, once you get the hang of it, you're going to zip right through it. It's 1-row repeat. Yarn over, skip through 2, 1, 2, place it in the, after you skip 2, 1, 2, place it in the next stitch, bottom leg, insert the hook, grab some yarn, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over, insert in the same space, grab some yarn, pull up loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, simple pattern is double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet all back into the same space. So let's continue. Yarn over, skip 2, 1, 2, and in the loop, in the stitch next to, after you've skipped 2, you're going to place your hook down at the bottom leg, yarn over, pull up a loop, 3 loops are now on our hook. We're making a double crochet, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, chain 1, yarn over, a double crochet, yarn over, put it in the same space, grab some yarn, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, same thing, skipping 2, and in the next one we are now putting it in that space, the bottom leg of that. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, back in the same space with a double crochet, yarn over, place it in the same spot, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, skipping 2, 1, 2. The next stitch, put it in the bottom loop, the bottom leg, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, yarn over, same space, pull up, grab some yarn, pull it through. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, we're skipping 2, 1, 2, okay. Now we're down at the end and we're skipping 2 again, right there, 1, 2, yarn over, put it in the bottom leg here, make a double crochet. Man, it's a little too tight. I grabbed too, yep, see the thread, I grabbed too much. I didn't clear some thread, just straighten that out a little bit. And we're going to get it in. I find that the very last one is a little bit difficult. But it's a double crochet. Oop, it is tight right there. I made it too tight, I believe. Okay. Wouldn't you know, you'd be on camera and voila, you can't make it perfect. But we're going to keep trying. Put that there. Come on. There we go. Woo! Double crochet, chain 1, making a V-stitch, and you go right back down in that same spot, and I made it too tight. Pull it up, double crochet. So let's count. We should have 8 V-stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. It should look like this, people. Okay? Now, at the end of the row, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work. Okay? And we're doing the same thing over again. We're going to be putting our V-stitches in the top of the V-stitches that we've already made, and that is the pattern. Okay? So, yarn over. Here's your last V-stitch that you made. In the chain 1, you're going to stick your crochet hook down there. Make a double crochet, pull up a loop. You have 3 on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, chain 1, do the same thing, double crochet, yarn over into the chain 1 space of the previous row, make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. We are just doing a V-stitch in top of the V-stitch of the previous row in the chain 1 space of the previous row. Okay, and we're going to do this all the way down. Chain 1, double crochet, yarn over, into the V-stitch on the previous row, and in this space, double crochet, chain 1, another double crochet in the same space, yarn over, a repeat of the double crochet, making a V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet back into the same space, double crochet in the previous V-stitch, and see, this is how the work should be looking. Ombre is a very busy type of yarn, different color variations, but it makes a beautiful scarf. So we're doing V-stitches in the chain 1 spaces of the previous round. That's all you're doing. And this is the entire pattern. So we're going to do this again. A V-stitch in the V-stitch. How about that? Now, we're making our last V-stitch in the last V-stitch of the previous round. Now, when you get down to the end of the row from the previous round, you have this space here, your turning chain. That's your turning chain. Remember, we did 3, turned, that's how we got that. What you're going to do at the end of each row, we're going to make a double crochet. One double crochet in the chain, in the turning chain, yarn over, and just 1 single double crochet. Okay, that's the end of it. Okay, you're going to do this at the end of each row, and you're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to turn. Okay, yarn over, and we're going to do this row together, and we're going to finish it up off camera. You turned it, you're making a V-stitch into the V-stitch, chain 1, double crochet. See, that's what we're doing, a V-stitch in the V-stitch. And once you get a good rhythm going, you will fly and have this infinity scarf completed in no time. As I said, that one that I made, I did it in 1 day, 7 hours. Okay, V-stitch in the V-stitch. You can watch TV while doing this. It's really easy. And we're down to our last V-stitch, and we're going to put a V-stitch in there, in that V-stitch. Now, we're down to the turning chain of the previous row. Yarn over and do 1 double crochet. And then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work and do it again. V-stitches into V-stitches. Get down to the end of the row. You're going to put a double crochet just like we did. You're going to put a double crochet in the last space, which is the chain 3 space at the end of each row. You're going to put a double crochet, chain 3, and you're turning your work. That is it. Okay, so now what you want to do is measure. Your work should be approximately 6.5 inches wide. Okay, approximately 6.5 inches wide. So that's what you want, approximately 6.5 inches wide. Mine is a little over, but that's fine too. 6.5 is right there. Yours may do the same thing, or you may hit it right at 6.5, but 6.5 is there. Mine is a little over, not quite 7, but that's okay too. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue to crochet back and forth, and you will have a very long strip. I leave a good, well, here's what I'll do. Once we get to the end, I will proceed to come back and tell you how to take it from there. How about that? But we're going to work it. You're going to need to leave some yarn towards the end, and but I'm not going to jump ahead. I'll be back after I've done so much, and we'll complete it. Okay? Okay, folks, we're back, and I have to move to my another location to be able to stretch out my scarf to be able to show you. I hope that the lighting is okay. But here is my scarf. I changed over to a scarf that I already had in the making, and that's why you're seeing a different color. But this is the beginning of it. And if you look all the way down, my scarf measures approximately 62 inches. 62 inches. Okay. Now, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you, I would stick to like 62 inches, because what we need is enough yarn to be able to stitch up the seam. And what I'm going to do is show you how to tie off, and we're going to do that, and we're going to proceed to finish up, and I'm going to show you how to make the twist. To get the infinity scarf twist, I'm going to show you that, and then we'll seam up the end of it, and you'll be able to see your marvelous piece of work. Okay? Okay. Let me just say how important it is for you to leave enough yarn at the end, because we're going to need it. We're going to need it to sew the tail of our work together. I overdo it. I really do, in the amount of yarn that I leave hanging out. Because number one, we're going to double it up when we sew. We're going to double it. We're going to not sew with one strand, but we're going to whip stitch with 2 strands. So that's why I'm stressing. Make sure you leave enough yarn to sew the whip stitch the 2 ends together, because once you cut it, that's it. Where's my scissors? I just had them. Okay, well, I'll be right back. Okay, what we're going to do, you end it at the very end of your work. You have a double crochet. So what you're going to do, oops, sorry, hopefully I'm in frame. There we go. You're at the very end of your scarf, and you have a double crochet at the end. Yarn over, we're going to pull it through, That way you can just take it out, pull it through. Pull it through to the very end there. You're at the end here. Tighten it. Pull it. Okay. Now, leave maybe like 3 or 4 inches to weave in. Okay. 3 or 4 inches to weave in. I'm very liberal in my cuttings. I always want to have enough. So, we have this to use to sew the edges, the 2 ends together. But first we have to set this up to do the twist, the infinity scarf twist. And we'll move to the longer table to do that. Okay? Okay, I'm back at my longer table. And the twist is actually called the Mobius twist. That's M-O-B-I-U-S. Mobius. M-O-B-I-U-S. Twist. That's what we're getting ready to do. So you have your scarf stretched out fully. You can lay it on your bed or whatever, but I do have a 6-foot table, which helps me. Okay? So that's what we have. So what you're going to do is, I'm trying to do this with, oops, sorry, one hand. I'll do this, yeah, and hold it in my smartphone at the same time. You're going to make it a V. You take it from the end. Let me do that again. It's stretched out. You take the end of it, bring it up, bring it up, bring it up to the top end of the other, and you see that you have a V. It's lapped over just like that, okay? You just took the end and brought it up, and it's lapped over, okay? And you have your 2 ends up here, okay? Now, what you're going to do with the 2 ends, you're just going to lift it up. That's it. You see that? I just lifted it up. And same thing over here. Lift it up. And the 2 ends are right facing each other. Okay? You need your stitch markers at this point. And you see how it looks? This is how your scarf should appear. Okay? And then what we're going to do is lift these 2 edges together. And what I do is just stick my stitch markers so I can keep them, the 2 ends together. Okay? So what you want to do is place 5 or 6 stitch markers all the way down to the end, just to hold the ends together, and we are going to whip stitch, and we're going to weave in our ends, and we will be done. Okay? Okay. Make sure that you put your stitch markers at the right place, at the end first, in that open space, that chain 3 space. Put your first stitch marker there. Then at the other end, put your second stitch marker in that opening. And then put your stitch markers in the middle, because you want to make sure that that the ends are even, okay? And I went ahead and put my thread into my yarn needle, and I'm going to start just whip stitching. I'm going to put it in that opening. Let me see. I think I'm doing it backwards. Let me just start over. Let's do it this way because I am right-handed. Trying to do it backwards, it's not going to work. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I've threaded my yarn needle and I doubled it, okay? That's why it was so important to make sure you had enough yarn at the end and not cutting off close, you know. You got to have a lot of yarn. At least that's the way. I like to have more yarn than not, okay? So I went ahead and did that. And what I'm going to do is put my yarn needle right there in that opening space. See how even that's going to be? We can weave in our ends later. So what I'm going to do is just pull it through, pull it through, pull it through. And I'm going to leave some hanging that I'll weave in and maybe cut some of that off, but I'm going to leave that much hanging. And then I'm going to go back into the same space and I'm just going to whip stitch throughout. You might want to hold the other loose ends behind so they don't get tangled up because we have so much yarn. I overdid it, but again, I'd rather have more. Okay, and you see what I did? Just whip stitch, and if I want to, I'll go back in that same space because I want to make sure everything is secure. Those edges sewn together is secure. Now I'm comfortable with that. Then I'm going to go in, and it's random, you know, it's really random. Just make sure that you're getting both sides of it. Don't get just a single loop up here. Make sure you're picking up some yarn, and you can just pull it through here. Again, hold on to those loose ones, and we're just going to whip stitch all the way down. What did I do here? This must be one of these loose ones. Yeah, one of those loose ones. Okay, and then just keep doing it all the way down. You want to put them close together because you do want that to be secure. I got so much yarn, it's just getting tangled up in everything. Bring it over the top because that's the whip stitch. Not too tight when you're pulling it. Oh my goodness. Paper everywhere. See what we're doing? Through both ends. Just don't put, let's see. There we go. If you just grab one leg of yarn, that's going to put stress on it. That's why I'm saying both sides. You want to make sure you're grabbing enough yarn from both sides because you don't want stress to be put on the yarn and stretch. I'm in an open space, so I probably will go in and out of that twice when it's open space. It's just a whip stitch, okay? but I am in an open space, so I'll probably do that again in that same space. Then again in here, enough yarn in here. See there, we want to grab not one leg like that. We want to have a little bulk on each side. I'm going to do it like that. Put it in there. And I'll go back in there. But just don't pull it tight. That's why you have to have enough yarn, because you have to, you know, you have to be kind of think about where you're going to put your stitches. And if it's an open space, I like to put maybe more than, I like to go through the open spaces at least twice. See what we're doing, people? We just whip stitching. We'll weave in the ends later. Putting it through, coming out on the other end. Don't make the don't let it have a large amount of space in between each whip stitch. I wouldn't do that. You want support. Again, you don't want it too tight. And let's see here. I'm going to do this. I want 2 pieces of thread yarn from that side, and I want to go through 2 pieces on this side because I want it secured. There's nothing wrong with going back in the same space. Make sure you're keeping it kind of loose, not too tight. That's an opening there. I want that secured. I don't want it just hanging about one piece of thread. Just whip stitching. These are lovely gifts, and like I said, you see how fast that the pattern is a 1 row repeat, and you can pick up so much speed, and after you get a hang of what are you doing, there's a double crochet, chain one, another double crochet, and you have a V-stitch. Just don't make it gappy. You want those stitches close together. The whip stitches close together. And there's nothing wrong with going back in the same space again. Especially if it's a chain one space or right in between the V-stitch, which is the chain one space. You might want to go in it twice, like I'm getting ready to do, because there's an open space. See that? And I want more reinforcement there. And I'm going to tie in some, weave in some ends just to show those that are truly are beginners. I want to be able to show them how to use the finishing needle that I purchased from Amazon. And I love it. It really helps secure your ends when you're weaving them. It really does. And I didn't know about that. And I've been crocheting a long time, and I didn't know anything about a finishing needle. So I want to show you that, especially again my new people that's new to crocheting. They're very inexpensive. You get them at Amazon. I'll put that in the description box. We're down at the end here. And I'm going to put probably 2 here. Okay, so we're at the end, and we have some weaving of ends to do. Oops. Okay. And what I do is I take those last 2 that I was holding on to, that I was using, and I just tie a knot pretty tight there. Okay. And on this end, I do the same thing. These are the 2 strands that we started with before, the yarning. Doing the whip stitch. These are the 2 ends we started with, okay? So, here is a finishing needle. And what it does, it helps you to slice through yarn to secure the ends. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. These are very inexpensive. You get so many in a pack. So you put your yarn, through the opening, and you're just going to weave in so you can secure. Just bring it in. Kind of hard for me to do it that way. I can do it this way too. Now what's so good about this? If you weave in ends with this, that's good too. But this has such a point at the end that what you want to do to secure, to make sure your ends don't pop out, you can kind of split the threads of the yarn so that the end gets embedded. See what I'm doing? Now, I would do this at the very end. I would not do the entire weaving of ends like this. If I'm just about done with weaving in a piece of yarn, I would start kind of splitting threads. See that split? And what that does is really secures the end. Then you want to go back. Oop, let me get that off. Go back through in the opposite direction. See that split? Now again, you don't split, you just split right before you get ready to cut. That's the best way I could say it. Okay? But that end is secured because you embedded the end in the splitted thread. Hopefully that was clear. I'm hoping that was. And then we go ahead and we do it again. Put that in. You don't want to continuously go back into the same spot. Go maybe underneath. Pull that through. You can even go down into the, you don't have to stay at the top of the edge. But that's a great way to hide your ends. But you don't have to. You can go through the pattern. Because you don't want to use the same spot over and over and over. You can go back through it backwards. But it just does a great job in getting in there and hiding your yarn, the ends. And this is called a finishing needle. Now with this, because I'm getting ready to cut, you want to weave in maybe like a good 4 inches. That's been the kind of rule of thumb. See this? I'm getting ready to slice that just a little bit. And then I'm going to take it back over. Not back over, I'm going to go over this piece. And then I'm going to pick up this one. I'm not slicing that end of it. I already sliced one. You don't want to go, you don't want to do a lot of slicing. Okay, just go in different directions. And I'm going to do this, and I'm going, now I will slice here because I'm getting ready to cut off. Like I said, use your best judgment in weaving in ends, 4 or 5 inches, back and forth in different directions. And these are a great tool to weave in ends. I'm going to weave mine in off camera. And you see that? I'm going to put it on the mannequin at the end so you can see. Okay, folks, we are done. That ombre is such a beautiful color, and it just blends so well. It blends beautifully. So what I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I would love for you to put in the comments section your infinity scarf and let me see and let others see the beautiful work that you accomplished. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.